Welcome to Karlpopewoodcraft. Today we will be creating the jack-o'-lanterns. We'll be making one out of hand tools. We'll be making one with the Ortur laser, and we'll be making several. Ooh, wobbly. We'll be making several with a CNC. For safety, we've added some flickering LED tea lights, so it looks like a flame, but you're nice and safe and you're not going to burn the place down. So let's get into the first one then, which is going to be the hand tool version. So anybody can do this, even in a little shed with minimal hand tools. Today's build is really super simple. We use nothing but hand tools. Materials wise, we're using one board which is approximately 6 feet, that's about 1.8 meters, and it's about 6 inches wide, and that's about 15 centimeters. I cut these down into 400mm lengths, and that was for the back, the front and the two sides. Since this is a beginner's project, I'll let you know what types of tools I'm using during the video and where you can purchase them from. The saw I'm using here is an Airwin crosscut saw. It's got fine teeth, it's the disposable type, so when this saw is blunt, then it's a case of just throwing it in the bin. But I do think that this type of saw for a hobbyist would last years to come. I've had this one about 3 years and it's still doing a nice clean cut now. The square that I'm using is a carpenter's square, and this can be found in your local DIY stores. I bought this one from B&Q and it was about £5. I also bought the saw from B&Q as well. Once I get the back and the front and the two sides cut, I then start drawing out the scary face on the front of the board. You could draw one of these on each of the two sides as well if you wanted. That'd look pretty cool, but I just concentrated on the front. This doesn't have to be anything super artistic. I just found a picture online, roughly copied it, drew it on there with a pencil, made a few little alterations, and then I went round it with a Sharpie just so I could see the lines better for when I use my jigsaw to cut this out. Before I can cut the eyes, the nose and the mouth out, I need to drill some holes first just to get my jigsaw blade through into that space. I use a 10mm drill bit here, and I'm using a bower drill. I also have a trend drill as well, which is a bit more powerful than this one. I prefer to use the trend one actually, but today I'm using the bower one that's from Screwfix, and you can get the trend ones from Amazon and their website. I then use my Ryobi jigsaw to cut out the shapes of the nose and the eyes and the mouth. This is quite tricky, this little bit. Don't be too hard on yourself if you don't get these perfect. You can go back with a rasp and a file, and again I bought these rasps and files from B&Q. Not sponsored by B&Q obviously, but they're just a good place to get some cheap tools from and get you into doing a bit of DIY and woodworking. The file and the rasp do help neaten them shapes up quite a bit. Assembly of the components was super simple. All I did was butt joints, glue these together and put three 2-inch nails in each side. If you are enjoying this video, please do like and subscribe. We've got well over 250 videos for your viewing, everything from professional carpentry builds, commercial builds to DIY and hobbyist builds. So lots for you to go back and have a look at. So if you do like and subscribe, that'd be really appreciated. If you've got any questions on any of the builds or anything woodworking, just hit me up in the comments and I'll be sure to answer you. Cheers guys. You may notice here as well, I'll put an arrow to where I mean, but the backboard, I've actually cut that probably about 50mm shorter than the other 3 boards, and that's just so I can get a candle in and out of there. Here you can see here the gap just where my fingers are there, and that's at the bottom just so we can place a candle onto the bottom shelf. The bottom shelf is 200mm across, and we've done that slightly wider than the lantern itself, and that's just so when it's placed outside, if it's breezy, it doesn't blow over. All I'm doing here is finding the centre of the bottom shelf, and then I'm just going to drill a hole in there with a Forstner bit. Again, these are just cheap Forstner bits that you can buy from the likes of Screwfix and Toolstation, and I'm just drilling a hole halfway through the bottom, just so when I sit the tea light in there, it's nice and stable and doesn't slip about. And again, the bottom just gets fixed on with PVA wood glue and hammer and nails. To finish things off, I decided to add a little top hat onto the lantern, and I did cheat a little bit on this because I didn't use part of the 6-foot piece of timber that I started with. I had a little route round and found something that was a little bit wider. This This one's about 8 inches wide, so it looks a bit better for a top hat. And I used 2 pieces for this. I used the piece that I found, and then I used another piece of this 6-foot board just to pop into the centre, so it looks a little bit more like a top hat. Keep watching here, everyone. He learns a valuable lesson here. Yes, wait for it any moment now. Yeah, keep waiting. Here we come. Is it about now? No, we're nearly there. Must be the next nail. Keep waiting. And there you go. 2 nails directly opposite each other in the exact same grain path. So I decided to use what I should have done in the first place, use my drill, pilot hole some holes, and then put the nails through there. That way I'm not going to get any splitting on the little top hat. And now for the fun bit, a little bit of burning with a blowtorch. And again, I purchased this from Screwfix. You guessed wrong, you thought I was going to say B&Q again. But no, this one was from Screwfix's blowtorch. And using the blowtorch just hides any of the mistakes that I made with my jigsaw, and just, well, it makes it look a lot cooler as well, and a lot better for Halloween. I do really hope you enjoyed that basic build today then, guys, and if you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll let Jacob crack on with doing the Ortur Laser Master 2 and the CNC work in the next video, as this one's getting on a little bit, so we'll make a part 2 so it doesn't drag on too long. And for all you nerds out there that like using computer software for making things out of wood, Jacob's your man for that, because I don't have a clue what I'm doing, and we'll probably have that out in the next couple of days because Jacob's already done it. So I'll catch you later, guys, and enjoy part 2, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye, happy Halloween!